Hello.
What's up, bro?
Just sitting here moping about the Vikings' loss on
Yeah.
Sunday. What a terrible game that was.
Yeah, it was.
So football's over. But all the others, it's the Super Bowl, I guess, obviously, but which I'll watch. But all the other sports are still going on. This is a busy time of year for sports because you have, I think, all the leagues are going right now.
Yeah, pretty much. Or other than baseball.
Yeah, baseball's starting up the spring training is in April or
Yeah.
something like that. So, but you still got. Football's winding up. You still got NBA going on. You still got hockey going on. I'm not sure what soccer's league is actually.
I don't
to
really
be
follow
honest,
soccer.
I don't remember. I mean, I know there's a bunch in the year Premier League and stuff. I don't know when that's going on either.
And you got the Olympics coming up in a couple.
And the Olympics, yeah, it's a busy time of year for. Well, I guess it's a busy year because it's the Olympics year, but that's always fun.
Yeah,
but,
and that's why we did a top 5 sports films.
Of sports movies, yeah, just to clarify. This was a hard list for me to do because I'd come up with a couple of them that I really liked, and then I remember another one, and it's been a while since I've seen some of these, to be honest. But these were the 5 that I chose, and I went back and forth with a bunch of other honorable mentions that we'll mention at the end. But even just 10 minutes ago, I changed 2 of mine in my list. My number 4 and number 5, I swapped them out. So
yeah, my number 5, I kept going back and forth because I have a few honorable mentions that could have been number 5, but it's just like, man, what the hell am I going to put in that 5th spot? But my 1 through 3, I was pretty dead set on what I wanted on those.
Yeah, I knew what my number 1 would be, and then after that, I was kind of like, it could honestly change this depending on how I feel at any certain time, almost.
Yeah.
But yeah, all right, I'll let you start though. We're going to start with our number 5, and then in case anyone who's listening wants to post some of their favorite sports movies, maybe they think that we're idiots and that we're totally wrong. Maybe we totally missed something.
This is completely opinion, so I mean,
yeah. But these would be our top 5. So I'll let you go first with your number 5 pick.
All right, my number 5 pick, and I kept batting it, back and forth between other films, was The Karate Kid.
Okay.
With 1984, Ralph Macchio.
Yeah.
Not the new one with Jaden Smith. But, yeah, I mean, back in the day, this was, it made buku money in the box office.
Yeah.
It's just a great film about this, nerdy kid that comes to a new place, and, in order to kind of get his mind right, he goes into karate. And, to basically fight against the bullies that are bullying him at school. I mean, it's a good story and everything like that. It still holds up today, but it's just a fun little movie.
Mm-hmm. It's been a while since I've seen The Karate Kid. I don't know if I've seen the new one in full, to be honest. I think I've seen parts of it here and there.
It's not bad. It's not the original. I mean, it's just okay to me. It takes place over in China. The Pat Morita character is played by Jackie Chan. But, I mean, but you can't replace Pat Morita as, what the heck is his name in that movie? the sensei or the...
Yeah, I can't remember.
I forget his name. Wax on, wax off. Whatever his name is. But, that's my number 5.
My number 5 is a movie that I haven't seen in quite a while, but I remember... I think it's one of the best sports movies, is Rudy.
It's on my list.
Yeah, I figured it's going to be on most people's lists. I think it's definitely a top 5 sports movie. But just like in terms of the more inspirational ones, I think it's definitely up there.
And to make it even better, it's a true story. So
yeah, there you go. Actually, I remember talking to my dad. Actually met Rudy like a year or 2 ago, I think. And he was giving some speech or something, talking about his life, kind of about that. But yeah, that movie was pretty inspirational, especially since I'm 5'7".
Yeah.
So,
well, I was watching
a
thing about Rudy the other day where it was Joe Montana was talking about it. That scene where they're coming in and laying the jersey down on the coach's desk to get Rudy to play on the field.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that scene never happened. Joe Montana was on the he was part of that team. Joe Montana was.
Really? I did not know that.
And he said, no, that didn't happen. And he's like, it's just for effect. And nobody chanted his name in the stadium, but he is the only guy to ever be carried off the field for Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Hasn't happened since, so I thought that was interesting.
Yeah. No, I think that's definitely my number 5. So
Cool. All right, my number 4 is a golf movie, The Legend of Bagger Vance.
Okay.
Came out in 2000. Have you ever seen it?
I don't think I've seen that one.
It's a great movie. It's got Will Smith in it. Robert Redford directs that film. It's Jack Lemmon's last movie. And you have Charlize Theron, Matt Damon. He plays Ranulph Juna, and he's playing in a tournament against. And that's a character that doesn't exist, but Walter Hagen and Bobby Jones do, who are the best. Basically, that was like the Tiger Woods of the day. Bobby Jones was, and they're playing in a golf tournament to save the golf club in Savannah. But I mean, it's just interesting. And then Will Smith is in it, and he comes in as this guy who teaches Ranulph Juna how to find his game again. It's an interesting movie. You know, it takes place in the 30s, and I like that era.
I'll definitely have to check that one out. That's your number 4. My number 4 is very different from number 5, I guess. Rudy's obviously very motivational and stuff. My number 4 is it is a sports movie, but I wouldn't necessarily call it like a happy one. The Wrestler, with Mickey Rourke. I mean, it's so different, especially for a sports movie, but it is kind of inspirational in a way where it's like, I don't know, like, you know, he's doing what he loves, if that makes sense, more than anything. And I mean, I forget how many awards it won. I know it was nominated for a lot, but you know, Mickey Rourke and Marissa Tomei, obviously, they kill it in that movie. Yeah. I think it's probably one of the best, like, one of the most well acted sports movies. You know, it's really more of a sports drama rather than like an inspirational type of thing. But you know, I definitely would consider it a sports movie. That's my number 4.
I mean, it was directed by Darren Aronofsky.
Right.
I think he directs nothing but depressing films.
Yeah.
I don't think he does anything that's happy ever. I'm looking.
Well, Aronofsky, I mean, like, for him, really, it's like I either love it or hate it for some of these movies. I did not see Mother. Heard bad things. I don't know. Maybe I'll see it someday. But you know, Noah was like, that was really dumb. To be honest, I really didn't like that one.
You know, Requiem for a Dream. It's one of those movies that's really great. But
I could never watch it.
Time.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I watch it, like, that was great. Hopefully I'm going to take a shower now and never watch that one again.
I remember watching The Fountain in theaters, and then when that movie ended, everybody looked at each other like, that's it? That was, what the heck did I just watch?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just very in-depth, and you got to, like, his movies you got to think, which is great for some things, but other things it's like, eh. And he also directed another great movie, The Fighter, but another sports
Yeah, that's
movie.
true. I really like Black Swan as well, but I think The Wrestler is my favorite Darren Aronofsky movie, and also, like, you know, my number 4 sports movie.
Yeah, it's a good choice.
Did you think of that one, The Wrestler?
I came across it in my list, but I was going through saying to myself, maybe, I don't know. I mean, I enjoyed the movie, but it wasn't something where I'm like, I gotta see that again, you know, because it's such a depressing movie.
Yeah, it is.
But I mean, it's great though. It's a good choice. Number 3 is Rudy, which we already discussed.
Okay.
And for valid reasons. So
nothing more you want to add about Rudy?
No, it's a great feel-good movie, and I mean, it's just I do like the aspect where he's from a family that are all from they do steel. They're steel workers. Mm-hmm. And he doesn't want to do that with his life. He wants to go to college and make something of himself other than just following the same line that his family does. And that's a nice, sometimes that kind of makes me think about our own trajectory in life, because we don't want to do what, other people are like 9-to-5 job and stuff like that. He's like, no, screw that. I can do something with my life. You only live once. So it has a nice message.
Yeah, no, I definitely think so too.
All right, what's yours, number 3?
Number 3 is for my last 3 movies. Well, I'll just go with my number 3, and I'll explain, I guess, once I get to number 1. Right. Number 3 is Rocky, the first Rocky.
Okay.
I mean, in terms of like sports movies, this probably like really kind of set the bar for like here's how to make a perfect sports movie, that type of thing. Comes from nothing and gets this opportunity and makes something of it. Mm-hmm. everybody's seen Rocky, so I don't need to explain the story. I mean, if you haven't seen Rocky, then why are you listening to this? And just pause it right now and go watch Rocky. At least the first one. I mean, you should see all of them, even 5, but,
Right.
at least watch Rocky 5 once, just to get to, Balboa and Creed, whatever. But no, I mean, the first one I think is just, it's a perfect sports movie. And it probably was like really one of the first perfect sports movies, I think.
Stallone wrote this in like 3.5 days.
Was it that quick?
Yeah, he wrote it quick. I mean, he wrote it shortly after watching the championship match between Muhammad Ali and Chuck Wepner. And he lasted, I mean, everyone thought Muhammad Ali was going to take Chuck Wepner down in like the first round, and he ended up lasting like 15 rounds, in which no one thought that. No one thought that this underdog would do this, and that's what made Stallone go, "Yeah, I'm gonna write a script." So that's what he did.
Yeah,
and he ended up coming up with Rocky. But it's interesting how they did that story, and plus he was very adamant about acting in that movie
about playing Rocky.
Yeah,
I think the story behind the making of Rocky is almost just as inspirational as the movie itself.
I mean, they had Robert Redford, Ryan O'Neal, Burt Reynolds, and James Caan, who were going to possibly play the part of Rocky, and of course it went to Stallone because it was such a low budget, like $1 million budget.
Yeah,
I
think it's great.
Yeah, made like $225 million worldwide off that one budget, but. Yeah, of course, it spawned so many great Rocky movies. Rocky 2, Rocky 3, 4, 5, and then you got Rocky Balboa and Creed.
And then now Creed 2 is coming out, I think, this year or next. Yeah.
Yeah, I think next year. But, I mean, it's a great movie to spawn that many sequels.
Yeah. What's your number 2, then?
My number 2 is Rocky.
Rocky, the first Rocky?
Yeah, the first Rocky. I mean, it's hard to pick any other. I mean, I love the fourth one. It's so stupid. But I mean, it's not the greatest movie, but it's just. I mean, it's like the Cold War in the ring.
It's so over the top, but I love it too.
And
I mean, the fourth one is like it has such an '80s feel to it as well, especially with like the music and everything.
Oh yeah, I think there's like 8 montages in that movie.
I mean, like if you watch the Rocky movies, like just back to back. Like all the way through, even 6.
And I've done that.
Probably just the first. I have too, but like it seems like the later it goes on, the more like montages and like flashbacks they have.
Oh yeah.
And they just start like by the time you get to like part 4, it's like half the movie is like parts from 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
but I'm totally okay with it.
I mean, part 1 and 2 are very much like each other when it comes to the character of Rocky.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just kind of like a down and out guy who just wants to be in fights. But then when you get to part 3, they almost glorify him in a way where it's like Rocky is so great, there's no way he can be beat. And of course he's more muscular then, and he's more cut up, so he's just like he's more like an action hero more so than he is a boxer in those movies. But then of course they ground him again in Rocky Balboa and Creed, which I think they kind of bring him back to greatness in that way when it comes to the character.
Yeah.
But no, it's a great series of films.
So that's your number 2.
That's my number 2.
Rocky.
Yeah.
My number 2, I feel like, well, I'll just say it. My number 2 is Field of Dreams. I mean, is it like this another one where it's like it's not quite a full-on sports movie, but like it is so much about baseball that it has to be in a way. It's really more of just almost like I don't know what you call it, supernatural drama or something. That just happens to be about baseball. But like baseball is such a way I think
it's a love letter to the sport, basically, to me.
It really is, and I think when it comes to like sports, sports art is it's its own thing, whatever. And some people like it, some people don't. But like when you're like really involved with a sport, like obviously like he was and his father was or whatever, it becomes such a bonding experience, like that father-son experience. Like my dad and I went to the game against the Saints like a week ago, and it was ridiculous ending, but it's like that's something I'm going to remember for the rest of my life. And it's and it could be anything. It could be but it just happened to be that sporting event, whatever. I think the emotional impact of it is pretty strong, and I think that's where the that's where the movie is best. It kind of capturing that and showcasing that how it can bring people together.
I mean, the entire movie is basically a father and son story that you really don't realize that it is until the very end of the movie. But they set it up so well at the beginning about his father and how he lost him before basically lost him before his child was born, and they kind of set that up where it's like it's unfinished business, but you really don't think about it until the very end where he's like, if you build it, he will come. And if you haven't seen Field of Dreams by now, and I'm ruining it for you, then I don't know why. Again,
I mean,
why are you? This is another great movie that you should have been watching years before. But
yeah, Field of Dreams is a movie where like every time at the end I can't help but tear up a little bit.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Man.
When you're playing, it's one of those things, like timeless things about playing catch with your dad. It's just, there's nothing better than that as a child is doing that.
Yeah.
Basically, you're playing catch with your hero when you're a kid.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's a perfect movie right there.
Yeah.
What's your number one? I'm gonna guess
number
what
one
your number
is Field of Dreams.
Yeah.
And again, we've already gone over it. It's just a great movie, but I also like the aspect of that cross country trip and doing something based on faith, where and that's what he did. I mean, anybody else would call you crazy. I mean, but you
it seems crazy. It is crazy.
Yeah, to plow down a cornfield because a voice told you to. It's nuts, but I mean, it's done for really good reasons, and it's the guy gets a payoff at the end where he sees his dad again.
Yeah.
But it's, James Earl Jones is great in it. And I like that little, I think it's Burt Lancaster's last movie, too.
Was it?
Yeah. Came out in 88. He died like in 92 or 93 or something like that. But
did it come out in 88? I thought it was early 90s.
It might have been 89. I'll check real quick just to fact check it. But it's about, I did like his character, too, Doc.
Yeah, it's 89.
Doc Graham. But, 89. Lawrence Gordon produced, directed by Phil Alden Robinson, which I don't think he's done anything since.
I need to watch the movie again, too, because it's been I every time it's on TV, I'll watch, like, part of it, here and there. Yeah. But, like, I need to sit down and actually watch the whole thing again, because it's been a minute.
All the way through. And I also like James Horner's score for that film, too.
Great score.
Yeah. Oh, and I didn't mention this with the Rocky movie. That's the only movie on our list where it was a Best Picture winner.
Oh, really? Rocky?
Yeah, that's the only Best Picture winning
because I know The Wrestler was nominated at least.
It was nominated, but it didn't win. I think he was also nominated for
probably Best Actor.
Best Actor. And also Best Director for Rocky as well. That one for Best Director.
Yeah.
But
can you guess what my number one is?
Shoot. This is going to be tough. Can you give me a guess as to, is it like a football, baseball?
No, it's neither of those.
Man. Hockey?
No. What I chose is not like what I think. I mean, it's not like these are the best top 5 sports movies of all time. They're like, again, these are like, this is an opinion thing.
Personal preference, yeah.
so personal preference. My favorite sports movie of all time is Rocky 3.
Rocky 3.
Rocky 3.
It's a great movie. I'm not going to down that.
I love that movie because it's like, it's so over the top, but like still not quite as, but still grounded in a way. Like it's, because I mean, he's so ridiculously like muscular in this movie. He's like, I got down to 3% body fat, because I mean, which is ridiculous, like it's.
They even make a reference to it in the movie where it's like, oh my God, Rocky's really cut up. He's like a lean 218 pounds, they talk about it, the commentators, before he starts fighting Clubber Lang.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, but again, it's that type of thing where he gets too full of himself, and he has to, I mean, I think out of all the Rocky movies, like the Eye of the Tiger is like the best theme, best song, and I think it was kind of, I mean, I love Rocky IV, but like this was like the peak of, like Rocky IV went a little too far in the montage and stuff. This was like the perfect balance of that.
Yeah, they only had like maybe 2 or 3. I think only just 2, but
and Apollo Creed training him, like running on the beach and all that kind of stuff, and there is no tomorrow and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
I don't know, like it's so full of like sports cliches, but I just love it.
Plus, he fights Mr. T, and he also fights Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, right.
As Thunder Lips.
I don't know. I just love this movie, and I mean, it's my favorite sports movie of all time.
And you got
I need to watch it again.
It's the last movie with what's his trainer's name?
With Burgess Meredith. Yeah,
Burgess Meredith. The last, without being in a montage, it's the last time.
He was a flashback in part 5, I think.
He's in every one of them as a flashback. You hear him going like, "Get out, Rocky!"
But
or something.
He actually recorded like a new scene for Rocky 5.
Oh, did he?
Like that was a flashback. Yeah,
Okay.
and
there was flashbacks in the 4th one where he lost. Creed.
Get up, you son of a bitch!
Yeah, he lost Apollo Creed, and then there was a montage of him thinking about Mickey and him, and also Apollo. But I think he was also in Creed as well. Mickey was.
I don't remember. I think he probably was in some sort of flashback.
Yeah, he was. I know he was in Rocky Balboa, like in a flashback as well. But
yeah, and Rocky Balboa is, a great sports movie as well. Let's talk about our honorable mentions. Yeah, you want to say yours first?
Sure. You want to go in order, or?
I don't have them in any certain order.
Okay. I got Remember the Titans on there.
Okay.
As an honorable mention. Do you want me to just go through all of them?
Just go through all of them, and I'll go through all mine as well.
Then I got Caddyshack.
Okay.
Eddie the Eagle. You ever seen that one?
No, I don't think so.
That's a really good movie. It's about, you know what it's about?
No.
What the heck? It's I can't remember the name of the sport where they're ski jumping.
Yeah.
What is that sport called?
I don't remember.
But it's basically about a guy over like in like England, and he's a British skier. In 1988, became the first competitor since 1928 to represent Great Britain in the Olympic ski jumping.
Mm-hmm.
And he finished last in the 70-meter and the 90-meter event. But he basically he sucked. Is what it was. But what made it so great was he had so much heart and so much enthusiasm for the sport. It made him basically a star. He just didn't care if he came in first or last. He was just all about doing it.
Yeah.
He was just excited to land.
But those are some of the more exciting things. It's like it's not about winning. It's about the passion behind the sport. I think that's most interesting.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's the first Rocky right there.
Mm-hmm. And
okay.
I got Miracle.
Yep.
The Natural.
Okay.
And Cinderella Man.
Okay. Now I'm thinking of a couple more. I'll just list these off. I also have Miracle, I think, and that was another one that I thought could have been number 5.
Yeah, that
Miracle
was also on my number 5. I had Eddie the Eagle too, just because it's an inspirational story.
Yeah, Miracle could be on my list. I could swap it out with Rudy, depending on how I feel. I really like Any Given Sunday. It's a little ridiculous.
Yeah, that's like a dark look at NFL behind the scenes kind of thing.
But that one's fun. Another one that's, Raging Bull is a classic.
Yeah.
That one could be on a list as well.
I didn't even think about that, but probably because it's more about it is a boxing movie. It is a sports movie, but it's more about the boxer himself.
Right.
Like his story.
It's kind of like maybe closest to like something like The Wrestler or something. I don't know. But it's a true story.
Yeah.
I think both Rocky Balboa and Creed are pretty great. But again, like I didn't grow up with them really because they're more newer, so it's not like they have that emotional impact.
Yeah.
All the movies that I saw, except for maybe The Wrestler, I saw when I was much younger. Another one that I really like that's a sports comedy is Goon. With Sean William Scott.
I totally forgot about Goon. I do like Goon, the first one. Second one didn't hold up as well as the first one, but it's enjoyable.
No. Yeah, the first one though is really like it's a very inspirational sports movie. It just has to be. It's also an R-rated comedy at the same time, but it's done really well, I think. What else I did not mention? The last one would be The Rookie with
Dennis Quaid.
Dennis Quaid, yeah, because that's another one.
That's also a true story.
I think that one was pretty great too. But it's not quite great enough to be, in my top 5.
No, it's a Disney movie, and it's got like that same formula as any other Disney movie, like Remember the Titans.
Yeah.
Inspirational, and they pull it off in the end, kind of thing.
Yeah. But those are my top 5. Those are all my honorable mentions. So if anyone has any that they think we totally missed that we didn't mention, you can post them in the comment section below, and definitely let us know what you think your top 5 are.
Yep. And also check us out at Intimate Films on Twitter. I think I'm going to possibly make a Twitter handle with Bros on the Phone eventually.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, it'd probably be better for the show. But
yeah, you can find us on Facebook as well at Ensomhet Films, and it's ENSOMHATHET. Sorry, I already got it wrong.
I'll put it in the description on the bottom.
Yeah,
below this,
that'll be better. That'll be easy.
Yeah.
So,
all right, guys. Thanks for listening.
And we'll see you next time.
All right. Adios.
See ya.